Number 5 from AT&T Stadium in nearby Arlington, Texas, live on Fox Sports, PBC, pay-per-view. There will be fans in attendance following COVID guidelines, and limited tickets are available at SeatGeek.com. Today, you are going to hear from the fighters a part of this tremendous undercard, as we have 3 outstanding undercard matchups that will thrill fight fans around the world. Let's dive into what you can anticipate on Saturday, December 5. We will begin the pay-per-view at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. To begin the pay-per-view, it'll be a featherweight contender matchup featuring Miguel Flores, no relation to me, as he squares off against fellow contender Eduardo Ramirez in a featherweight title eliminator matchup. Then we transition to the welterweight division. This one has all the makings of being a toe-to-toe showdown. And it features the Riverside Rocky, Josecito Lopez, going head-to-head against Francisco Chia Santana. The co-main event will feature the rising sensation, just 22 years of age, from Coachella, California. He stands 6 feet 6 inches tall. The towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, will put his undefeated record on the line against the challenger in Habib Ahmed. That is a super welterweight title eliminator matchup. Also, there will be prelims on FS2 starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time. A lineup that includes Isaac Avilar going head-to-head against Zachariah Lucas, plus top prospects Vito Malnicki Jr., now trained under the guidance of legendary trainer Joe Goosen, and also Burley Brooks will be involved in separate bouts. Now, Saturday night, December 5, is being brought to you by TGB Promotions, Man Down Promotions, and DSG Promotions. Let's get into our undercard, our opening matchup. This man with a record of 23 wins, 2 losses, 3 draws, 10 wins coming by way of knockout, having most recently knocked out the unbeaten Ledwan Barthelemy last November on the undercard of Wilder Ortiz 2 at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. He comes to us from Sinaloa, Mexico. Ladies and gentlemen, entering this fight on a 4-bout win streak, here is Eduardo Zurdito Ramirez. Eduardo.
Muy buenos días a todos y muy agradecido de estar aquí y muy feliz, muy satisfecho con ganas de dar un buen espectáculo.
Sammy?
He says good morning to everyone. He says he's very happy, very excited to be a part of this big show on Saturday, and he's ready to put on a good performance.
Greatly appreciate Sammy, our translator from TGB Promotions. And now we will transition to his adversary on Saturday night. This man with a record of 24 wins, a dozen of those coming by way of knockout, against 3 defeats. He comes back to the ring after falling short, and you know what, there's no shame against losing to Leo Santa Cruz in a super featherweight title matchup last November, also at the MGM Grand on the undercard of Wilder Ortiz 2. Scored stoppage victories over the likes of Luis May and Raul Chirino heading into the Santa Cruz matchup. Talk about he's dealt with adversity. He's a fun, exciting fighter. Originally from Michoacan, Mexico, now living and fighting out of Houston, Texas. Here is El Michoacano, Miguel Flores. Miguel.
Hey guys, very excited to be again part of another pay-per-view event. So obviously it was an opportunity we couldn't pass up, but I'm excited. I know Mr. Ramirez is an exciting fighter, a tough guy. So, you know, I'm ready for war. And Saturday night, you guys are going to be in for a treat. We're going to warm up the ring for Spence and Garcia.
Well, thank you very much, Miguel. You mentioned about being ready for war. Well, this next matchup, both men have talked about, and we will dive into detail about how they are ready for war. This man has faced top competition at 147 and 154. He has gone up against the likes of Jermell Charlo, fought Julian Williams to a draw, most recently lost a decision to Jared Hurd. You know, he pulled off a notable upset as he defeated Olympic gold medalist Felix Diaz back in 2018. I've never seen this guy shy away from any challenge, any opportunity. He just comes forward and he fights hard with a record of 25 wins, a dozen of those coming by way of knockout, 8 losses and 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Francisco Chia Santana.
Good morning, everybody. How's it going? I'm very excited to be a part of this show. everybody that's going to be tuning in that night, I suggest you guys tune in because you guys heard of the Arturo Gotti, Mickey Ward fights, right? We'll expect nothing less because this is what I say, the West Coast Arturo Gotti, Mickey Ward. You know, Cosito is an all-action fighter like myself, so I think you guys are in for a good treat that night.
Well, I'll be honest with you guys, that gives me goosebumps with them saying that. I mean, my goodness. Let's talk about Santana's opponent with the record of 37 wins, 20 of those coming by way of knockout against 8 losses, trained under the guidance by renowned trainer Robert Garcia, beat the likes of Victor Ortiz. Again, this is another fighter that has gone up against the who's who and the world's best. He's gone up against Canelo Alvarez, Marcos Maidana, Jesse Vargas, most recently lost to Keith Thurman back in January of last year in a title fight, had Thurman hurt, coming off of a victory over John Molina Jr. last September on the undercard of Spence and Porter at Staples Center in Los Angeles, also on pay-per-view. Talk about a remarkable story, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome the Riverside Rocky, Josecito Lopez.
Good morning, everyone. I'm thankful and glad to be here. Finally, be able to fight in this messed up year. But I'm prepared and I'm ready for everything on the 5th. And I know Santana's going to bring a big fight, a big game. So it's going to be an exciting fight. So tune in.
Thank you very much, Josecito. And now we'll get into our co-main event. This is a super welterweight eliminator matchup. This man originally challenged Gilberto Ramirez for the super middleweight crown back in 2018. He's won back-to-back fights, including a dominant decision over Juan Del Angel in May of last year. His record, 27 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 18 victories coming by way of knockout. Coming to us from the rich fighting country of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Habib Ahmed.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to use this opportunity to thank all of you and thank the promoters, everyone is here, the medias. Well, this is just I came from replacement, but I'm training hard to waiting for this opportunity to come, and now it's here. So I have to show the world that who is Habib, what Hurricane he is. So on a Saturday night, I want everybody to come and see and watch the fight. Thank you.
Thank you very much for Habib. And now, his opponent on Saturday night at AT&T Stadium live on Fox Sports PBC pay-per-view. He's undefeated, 15 wins, no losses, 1 draw, 10 wins coming by way of knockout. He had a very active 2019, including stoppages of then unbeaten Donnie Marshall, Hector Cepeda, and then he had an exciting split draw against Jamonte Clark in Minneapolis. He stands 6 feet 6 inches tall. Most recently, having knocked out Nate Gallimore, he became the first guy and only guy thus far to stop Nate Gallimore live on Fox in August after beating Daniel Lewis in February. He likes to be quite active. This is his 3rd fight here in 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Coachella, California, here is the towering inferno, Sebastian Fundora.
I'm happy to be here on such a big card. I'm glad that PBC put me on another pay-per-view. This is my 2nd pay-per-view of the year, and I'm just I'm gonna put on a good fight, make a great show. They changed the opponent, but we're ready for everything.
Well, thank you very much, Sebastian. And Sebastian mentioned the change of opponents. I think the theme up here for the undercard is always be ready, because these gentlemen jumped at the opportunity to be a part of a card of this magnitude. We'll get into with Miguel Flores. Miguel, how are you feeling heading into this matchup, fighting at AT&T Stadium against an opponent of the caliber of Eduardo Ramirez?
Well, you know, now that you mentioned, the switch of opponents and staying ready, well, that's what we did. I mean, we took on the opportunity. There's a saying, el que no arriesga no gana. So if you don't risk, you don't win. So, like I said, I know Ramirez is a tough opponent, but we're up for the challenge. And the reward, God willing we win, is going to be a lot bigger than what we had initially. So, I'm excited. And like I said, we're fighters. I know we all stay in the gym, so we're always going to be ready for that opportunity once it takes place.
What did you learn in that fight against Leo Santa Cruz? He's a proud champion. We all know his accomplishments, but what did you learn in that fight that you feel will benefit you moving forward?
Well, it's a lot of things. You just saw Leo. He went toe-to-toe with one of the best, pound-for-pound fighters. So I learned a lot, man. Basically, I learned, first of all, that I belong at that level. I'm at that level of opposition. So, there's a lot of little things, also, just mentally, being in there with one of the greats, a 4-division world champion, that says a lot. But like I said, styles make fights. We have a left-hander, and I know, mucho respeto para Ramirez, but I think my skill set is way better than his.
Thank you very much, Miguel. Now to Eduardo Ramirez. Eduardo, you're coming into this fight having defeated Ladwan Barthelemy. You had a draw with him 2 years prior to that, but you finished him off. You have a lot of momentum coming into this fight. How good are you feeling with Miguel Flores standing across the ring from you on Saturday?
Eduardo, vienes en esta pelea ganándole a Ladwan Barthelemy. Hace 2 años ganas un empate, pero este año lo noqueaste. ¿Cómo te sientes viniendo a la pelea con Miguel Flores?
La verdad, vengo bien preparado, como siempre. Espero una buena pelea con Miguel Flores, a pesar de las cosas como se han dado, de los cambios, pero estoy listo y estoy para el que sea, cuando quieran y donde quieran.
He said he's prepared well, even with all these changes. He as well had another opponent, but like he said, he's prepared, he's ready for Miguel, and whatever he brings, he'll be ready.
Do you get excited? This is a very strange year, and it's a difficult year around the world with COVID-19. But fans will be in attendance at AT&T Stadium. How excited is he to be able to fight in front of a live fight crowd that appreciates two warriors getting inside the ring and battling?
¿Cómo te sientes? Este año no ha habido muchas personas en las peleas, pero en esta pelea sí va a haber gente. ¿Cómo te sientes con eso?
La verdad es como un poco de motivación, claro, no está mal. Es muy bonito sentir el aliento del público y todo ese tipo de cosas, pero si hubiera sido diferente, pues igual estoy al 100 con mi mente profesional y tratar de dar lo mejor de mí para salir siempre con la victoria.
He said, of course, having the audience and the atmosphere, it's a beautiful thing, but regardless if fans or not, he's prepared 100%, and he's ready to get the victory on Saturday.
Thank you very much, Eduardo. Now we will move over to the welterweight division. Francisco Chia Santana and Josecito Lopez. Francisco, you mentioned that this could potentially be the West Coast Gaddy Ward here at AT&T Stadium in Arlington this Saturday on pay-per-view. How are you preparing yourself mentally and physically to put yourself through what could potentially be an extremely physical and grueling matchup against Josecito Lopez?
Obviously in the gym, I always work hard. That's always been my thing, is always train hard. But it's most importantly mentally. You got to prepare yourself mentally for such a hard fight. Especially like you've mentioned yourself, the West Coast, Gotti Ward. That's an amazing trilogy, back and forth type of fight. But again, Josecito style and my style, it's almost like a reflection of ourselves in the mirror. We both face some tough oppositions and some really high level A fighters, and for some reason we always fall in short just by a slight hair. But we always put up a great fight. We don't give up. We just keep coming forward. He's the definition of the Riverside Rocky. And then I'm a big fan of Rocky movies. But yeah. Hey, listen. At the end of the day, it's this is what we signed up for, and I think he's the great definition, like myself, of our fighting styles. It's also how we take life in general. You know, whatever life throws at us, we always keep coming forward. We always keep pushing forward, and by all means, we never give up. And that's exactly what you're going to see come Saturday night.
Josecito, same question. How are you preparing yourself mentally, and also how did you prepare physically for a fight that could potentially be extremely physically taxing and a battle inside the ring against Francisco Santana?
Well, the preparation's done in the gym. You know, we've prepared for months and for a tough fight with great sparring partners throughout the entire year. Expecting a really tough fight. You know, when I'm not fighting the best, I'm fighting some of the toughest, you know, and vice versa. So I'm definitely prepared and ready for whatever comes on the 5th and execute my game plan.
Do you like the fact, like your last fight was against John Molina Jr., and there were fireworks in that fight, but it was another fighter who has an aggressive style. You didn't have to chase him around the ring. He was easy to find. The same can be said about Francisco Santana on Saturday. Do you like fighting a fellow aggressive fighter?
Yeah, I like fighting aggressive fighters, but I can adapt to anything. I've seen every type of fighter in the ring, so I can adapt and work around whatever game plan I have to use. But having a fighter in front of me, it's always good for an exciting match, and this is going to be one of them.
Thank you very much, Josecito Lopez. Khabib Ahmed, you now, originally was supposed to be Jorge Cota, now you are in this position. How excited are you to be able to partake in this title eliminator when you literally and figuratively have a tall task ahead of you in the 6'6" Sebastian Fundora?
Honestly, I've been here 1.5 years training hard, looking for opportunity. Because of the coronavirus, I can't go home back, so he locked me down here, and coach told me to train hard. My opportunity can come. And this one came, so I have to take it. I've been preparing myself very hard, been sparring with world-ranking top boxers in the gym, so I'm very, very prepared for this fight. Inshallah. This is the time to show the world. Thank you.
Do you think that your experience is going to play a factor in the fight? He's a rising young contender. You fought for a world title before, but what did you learn in that fight against Gilberto Ramirez? And the fact that you have an excellent record of 27-1-1 with 18 knockouts, do you feel like your experience will be a significant factor in your favor on Saturday on pay-per-view?
Yes. I'm looking for Fundora as Gilberto Ramirez because Gilberto Ramirez is tall and is southpaw too. So if I'm looking Fundora like him. And I've been sparring tough southpaw and tall boxers in the gym too. Like I said, I've been in gym, training hard, looking for opportunity, and now this one came. So I know Fundora is a good boxer, great boxer. He knows how to throw his hand. But I have to we have a plan to game, so I have to follow my plan to win the game this Saturday.
Sebastian, for you, originally it was supposed to be Jorge Cota standing across the ring from you. How do you assess Khabib Ahmed on Saturday night?
Well, when we were training for Cota, we trained for everything. So switching the opponent was not a problem for me. He's still a right-hander. He's an aggressive right-hander, so I don't think I'm a problem at all.
Tell us about your preparation because, you know, you've been quite active here in 2020, which I don't think many fighters, if any, can say the same thing, but you are very cognizant of wanting to stay active over the course of your young professional career.
Yeah, it's just you don't take breaks. You can't take breaks. We took a week off, and we went back into camp for this one. And with the job, you take a break too long, you'll get fired. So this is our job, and we don't want to get fired.
Sebastian, you have a very crowd-pleasing style. You like to stand and trade. It almost feels like there are moments where you could potentially make the fight easier for yourself with your long reach and your physical advantages, but instead you want to stand and trade. Is that a part of you just loving and having a zest for combat?
Of course. Growing up, we always fought. We had shorter fighters always rushing us and stuff, so we had to learn how to fight. Either learn how to fight or get stronger, and we end up doing both. So that's just something I love, you know.
For Miguel Flores, this is a featherweight title eliminator matchup. There is a lot on the line in this fight. Your last fight was at 130. Now you're back here at 126. Do you feel like you are stronger and this is your best weight?
Yes, obviously, you know, I think I've always been a featherweight. Obviously, with the 130-pound fight with Leo, it was an opportunity we couldn't pass up. And also, we knew that Leo was a fighter moving up from smaller weights. So, you know, I've always felt the best at 126. And obviously, when this opportunity for an eliminator showed up, like I said, I mean, we couldn't let this pass up. And especially being on a pay-per-view card with, you know, Spence Garcia and a bunch of other young talent. We're like, man, we can't let this pass up. We're already getting ready. Like Chia said earlier, we're fighters, man. We always training hard. So I was training hard. I was already preparing for a left-handed fighter. So, you know, we had to make a few adjustments. And at the end of the day, you know, once you're in the ring, you really don't know how, you know, it's all muscle memory and it's also mental. You know, you got to tell yourself you're able to do it, and that's how you're going to accomplish it.
You're a Texas kid. You fight out of Houston. But fighting here at AT&T Stadium in the same state, they always say they do things bigger in Texas. Well, lo and behold, AT&T Stadium is a palace. But how excited are you for that opportunity to be fighting here in your home state of Texas at that palace of AT&T Stadium?
Well, you know, when they initially told me the fight was going to be here in Arlington, close to Dallas, I mean, I don't know, many people don't know, my brother's last fight was in Dallas when he passed away. So, you know, it brought a lot of emotion to me. I think it brought an extra feel, you know, because I was like, man, I'm going back to the last spot where I saw my brother. So like I said, I mean, it's a big opportunity, you know, it's against a tough fighter, and I could, you know, be in another world title shot. So, of course, I took it, and, of course, I'm going to make the best of it.
Eduardo, this is a featherweight title eliminator matchup. How important is it for you to go out and get the victory so you can cement your status to challenge for a world title in the near future if you're successful against Miguel Flores?
Eduardo, peleas por una eliminatoria, por un título. ¿Cómo te motiva y cómo te hace sentir para pelear este sábado para eso?
Estoy motivado por pelear con Flores. Sé que es un buen rival, ha peleado con grandes peleadores y estoy motivado. Quiero llegar a ser campeón del mundo, primero Dios, y vamos a darle a lo que venga.
He said he's motivated to fight Miguel, motivated for the opportunity. He wants to become a world champion, and he's excited, and he's ready for the fight Saturday.
Eduardo, you can do different things in the ring. You can box, you can stand and trade it, but I almost feel like you love to stand and mix it up on the inside. Why is that the case?
Dice que puedes hacer muchas cosas en el ring, pero a ti te gusta estar ahí al frente del oponente. ¿Por qué es eso?
Pues como comentan, gracias a mi trabajo he desarrollado diferentes habilidades, pero me gusta dar un buen espectáculo, me gusta ir hacia adelante como el estilo mexicano, pero como lo comentas, pues en el intermedio de la pelea puedo cambiar de estrategia, puedo boxear, puedo ir adentro, puedo eludir golpes y estoy preparado y vengo 100% para llevarme esa victoria a México y a los Mochis Sinaloa.
Yes, he says inside the ring, you know, he works on defense and everything else, but he just likes that Mexican style. He likes to fight and put on exciting fights, and he's excited and he's ready to take the win back to Mexico.
Thank you very much, Sammy, our translator from TGB Promotions. Francisco, for you have gone up against some top names, but you've fallen just a bit short. What have you learned in those fights that you feel like you can get that signature victory against a top-level opponent with Josecito Lopez that you will be meeting on Saturday night?
I mean, like you said, yes, I faced practically everybody, you know, like himself, and I think that this is a fight where it's like go big or go home. This is a fight where I can show to the world, but show to myself that I'm not just a solid B-level fighter. I want to be recognized as an A-level fighter. So I think this fight is a great fight. It's a great opportunity because it's also showing both of ourselves where we stand and basically giving myself another shot to fighting one of those A-level fighters and being able to stamp myself and be recognized as an A-level fighter very soon, and going forward with that, I think every fighter's dream is to be a world champion, or else, what's the point of fighting? So the whole point is to be a world champion. So this is one step closer to it. So again, I know what Joecito brings to the table. He's a phenomenal fighter that, he's very rugged and he brings it, like myself. So it'll be a good test for the both of us that night.
Where do you feel like you have the advantages, not giving away your game plan, but where do you feel that you can go ahead and have the better of Joecito Lopez in what aspects of your fighting style?
I guess I'm 2 years younger.
So the youth.
Maybe, but I mean, not, we'll see. I mean, I have faced bigger opposition in the past. I've fought as heavy as close to a middleweight. But again, this is going back into not knowing what I was doing. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's not, I don't know what, there's not much, other than on Saturday night we'll see what the outcome is.
Joecito, he pointed out the fact that he's fought at higher weight classes. It's quite conceivable that he can come in being the bigger man on Saturday. You have quickness, you have a very well-rounded fighting style, but how do you feel like you're going to be able to deal with the size of Francisco Santana?
Well, size really hasn't been an issue too much, except maybe the time I moved up to 154 wasn't quite my weight division. But as far as size doesn't matter. It's a lot of skill in the way you use it, timing, speed. So I've worked on a lot of different game plans and styles in the last few years with Robert Garcia. He's helped me prepare, sparring some of the top guys, got me back to the top level, and I'm ready to perform and to give a great show. My fight game, I don't go out there to try to give a good show. I go out there and fight, and it just happens to be exciting to everybody. So I'm having a tough opponent in front of me that always brings a game fight, a tough fight to every opponent he faces. So I'm expecting that. So I prepared for that, and I'm ready to execute.
Joecito, in my estimation, I feel like you have underrated boxing skill. But at some point or another, in all your fights, you always engage in these toe-to-toe exchanges. Does that just happen? Is it the fact that you just love to mix it up? Because I feel like, all of you guys were born to be fighters, but in your fights, you just have that natural knack to engage in these exchanges.
Well, I'm a natural fighter, sometimes natural instincts come out, but, in the last few years, I've worked on a lot of different parts of my game, of my boxing game that I've lacked on, and with the help of Robert Garcia and then the entire training staff, we've upped every aspect of my game, and I'm prepared for any type of fighter. I'm prepared for a top level fighter, and I just got to go out there and show it now.
Habib, with the run that you are on, especially, you only have one loss, but do you almost feel like now is the time for you to seize this opportunity? Because, everything in life is about timing. Do you feel like the moment is right for you to be able to take your career to that next level?
Yes. Everything have its time. And only one time is come. Opportunity come at one time. So I'm training. When I came here in the United States, I'm being in camp training, waiting for opportunity, like I said. And now the opportunity come, and I know I have the win on Saturday because I've been training hard for this opportunity to come. I know it's a good boxer, like I said, and I have to listen to my coach in the corner, and he see what Funora gonna done, and he will tell me what I have to do, and I think I'll win the fight.
Sebastian, your promoter, Samson Lukowicz, who has found the likes of Manny Pacquiao, Sergio Martinez, along with David Benavidez. He told me when you burst onto the scene a couple of years ago when you fought in Minneapolis, and you had that exciting matchup on FS1, he's told me this kid is special. And for you to be able to, you know, work with Samson and the things that he's been able to see out of you, at the age that you are at, you're in your early 20s, did you think that you would be this far along so early?
Yeah, it's just timing, I guess. Just go with the flow. Everything my team does, we talk about it always. We go back after the fights, we talk about what we want to do next. And I guess, yeah, the time is right, you know. If we make it this far up, this fast, why not take it, you know?
All right, well, now I'm going to go around real quick. I will start with Miguel Flores and move to throughout the card. Prediction time, if you guys want to give a prediction, how is it going to go down on Saturday night in your respective matchups? Miguel Flores, we'll start with you.
Really no prediction. What I can predict is a, exciting fight from all of us. Make sure you buy, pay-per-view if you can attend. And we're fighters. We're going to put on a show, especially, after all this pandemic going on. And, I'm sure we're all glad we got one in before the year was up and a good payday. So Christmas is going to be nice and we're going to enjoy it. And trust me, we're going to give everything we have on Saturday night.
Eduardo, predicción.
Tu predicción para el sábado.
¿Mande?
¿Qué va a pasar el sábado? ¿Cómo ve la pelea?
Veo una pelea muy pareja, un buen rival. Vengo preparado, como siempre, y yo vengo a ganar.
You said it's a tough fight, it's an even fight, but he's ready and he's going to get the victory on Saturday.
Francisco, prediction time.
Well, there's going to be two men in the ring that night. They might be throwing some jabs, might be throwing some right hands, some body shots, some hooks, some uppercuts, a little bit of everything. So we might get punched, might go to 10 rounds, it might end before 10 rounds. But so you guys don't want to miss it. It's going to be an exciting fight. That's all I have to say.
Josecito, what's the outcome going to be like against your opponent?
I predict a great fight. I've done everything to prepare to win. I've done all the work. Now it's time to execute, but could easily be the fight of the night, so make sure you tune in and don't miss this one.
Habib, how will the fight unfold?
Yeah, I've been preparing very well, and like I said, if I listen to my coach on the corner, I can win the fight. So maybe it will depend how the fight is going on. Yeah, it depends how the fight is going on. But I know I have a win on Saturday night. Thank you.
Sebastian?
Just one of the greater fights in the card. So I trained very hard. He trained very hard. So we plan just to make a good show, and I plan to do my job like always and win.
Well, thank you very much to the fighters, a part of the undercard. It is going to be an outstanding night of boxing. 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time on Fox Sports, PBC pay-per-view, brought to you by TGB Promotions, Man Down Promotions, and DSG Promotions. Don't forget the prelims will be available on FS2 at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time. All of these 6 gentlemen will be involved in the pay-per-view undercard. It is going to be an incredible night of boxing. You do not want to miss it. They are a part of Spence Garcia for the welterweight championship of the world. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Good luck. We will see you in 2 days' time, December 5, on Fox Sports PBC pay-per-view. Thank you for all of you watching on the stream, and we will see you tomorrow for the weigh-in here in Dallas, as we are just 2 days away against from Spence Garcia live on Fox Sports PBC pay-per-view. Happy holidays, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for the weigh-in. Now we will pose the fighters off for the socially distant face-off.
That